Welcome back to another Pokemon Flying Friday, home of the OG weekly market updates, where every Friday morning we go through last week's sales of sealed Pokemon products and Pokemon cards that are currently going down in price. And we do also cover the big Pokemon news that cards are set to get revealed. And we do have to do the question of the day. So for today's question, what Pokemon do you guys like better, Tyranitar or Groudon? And if you guys have any fun questions for the question of the day, drop it down below and I'll use it in an upcoming video. And we do have to give a quick thanks to our video sponsor real quick, and that is ARIZONATCG. If you guys have some graded cards you're looking to sell, PSA, BGS, CGC, Tag, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Does not matter. ARIZONATCG is perfect. You just send them all your graded cards, then they're going to post it to their massive weekly eBay auctions, or you can change it to buy it now. You have full control, and they even lowered their prices to match their big discounts during the holidays. So these are one of the cheapest consignment services in the game. So definitely check them out. I'll have all the links in the description. And of course, if you're going to grade through PSA for your first time, click my link, use the code BEARD25 to get $25 off. And if you want to try out Tag for your first time, click my link, use the code BEARD10, you get 10% off. And I will be at Collector's Palooza in Indianapolis this weekend. They're doing like 10 grand in giveaways, and there's a ton of PokeTubers coming. So definitely check that out. It's going to be so much fun. All right, hopping to PokeBeach here. So we got these Dream Painting Water Ecology figurine set to release in April. So it's pretty cool. They make like an actual figure based off a card, which I think is sweet. But what I think is even cooler is if you scroll down, it says, if you're lucky, you'll have a 1 in 143 chance of pulling the illustration rare of Wailord as a special 13th figure, which I think is sick. And I think it comes with the actual card too. Looks like you get the figure, a reverse holo of the card, a stand with a card holder, and 2 of China's Brilliant Illusions 5-card booster packs. Man, I feel like China's, doing it right. Next, we have the Chaos Rising pre-orders finally opened. I was driving on my way home from Denver, so I was only able to get the booster box, which I'm still happy about, but I missed the Pokemon Center ETBs, which was devastating. So this is the first time we had one this late. It says, while pre-orders for most sets for Pokemon Center around 78 days before release, this was 39 days. So we're not sure if they're going to keep doing that, but I'm guessing if they miss the 78 days again, it's going to be around this 39 days. All right, let's get into it. We got the Perfect Order booster box. This was at $242. Now last sold $188, $188, $199, $210. I guess those 180 sales are from newer sellers. Yeah, 16 sales and 5 sales. So the cheapest one from like a legit big seller is $210. Next, we have the Surging Sparks booster box. This was at $280. Now last sold $254, $249, $225, $221. $240. Next, we got Scarlet and Violet base set booster box. This was at $270. Now last sold $246, $265, $240, $240, $255, $250. And we have Paldea Evolved coming down just a little bit. This was at $458. Now last sold $439, $437, $430, $445. Next, we have Chilling Rain also coming down a little bit. This was at $546. Dropped down to $490, went back up to $500, and now last sold $475, $465, $470. Got one down here at $400 that says damaged. And we have the Destined Rivals Elite Trainer box, was at $225. Now last sold $215, $219, $218, and $217. All right, we have all the IRs from Perfect Order. We got the Promo Pass here. This was at $2. Now last sold $1.32, $1.35, $1. And the Drapion, this is another cheap one, was at $4.53. Now last sold $1.88, $1.99. And the Spupa was at $4. Now last sold $2.99, $2.15, $2.80. And the Talonflame, beautiful card, was at $8.51. Now last sold $4, $4, $3, and $2.70. And the Doublade was at $7. Now last sold $386, $515, $444. And the Aurorus, this beautiful card, I picked up a few over the weekend. People actually brought me some because I mentioned it in my video. Really appreciate that. This was at $22. Now last sold $3, $4, $3, $5. I'm definitely going to get a full page of this card, and then for sure a PSA 10. Next, we have the Raticate. I like this Raticate so much more than the Team Rocket's Raticate. But this was at $5, went down to $3, went back up to $5, dropped down to $4, and now last sold $420, $475, $525. Next, we have the Esper, was at $15. Now last sold $5, $4, and $6. And we got the Rowlet, was at $18. Now last sold $6, $7, $5. And we got the Dedenne, was at $15.95. Now last sold $6, $7. Now I'm going to hear that every single time I say 6 and 7 because now people are commenting it down below. But yeah, it's a $6 or $7 card. Next, we have Clefairy. This got up to $36. Now last sold $30, $31, $32. Got a lightly played at $21. And we got the Mega Clefable, just checking some of the bigger SIRs from the set, was at $125. Kind of leveling out. Now last sold $74, $70, $69. And we got the Mega Starmie. This was at $82, dropped down to $75, back up to $88. Now last sold $82, $77, $76, and $73. Next, we have the Mega Zygarde EX, was at $142. Now last sold $100, $109, $102, $112, $103. And we have the Meowth from Perfect Order. This is at $160, dropped down to $140, went all the way back up to $182. Now last sold $167, $169, $165. And the Gold Mega Zygarde, this was at $185, and it's dropped literally a couple dollars. Last sold $180, $185, $170, $181. Next, we have the Weavile from Ascended Heroes. This was at $15. Last sold $6, $7, $8. And I have a feeling this card's going to go back up in price. Ascended Heroes is getting very expensive. Next, we have the Dreepy, also from Ascended, was at $46. Last sold $15, $14, and $13. And we got the Dracloak doing the same thing. Was at $45. Now last sold $12, $13. And we got the Charmeleon from $151. This got all the way up to $100. Now last sold $82, $94, $93, $85, $70, $76. And we got the Pikachu from $151. Was at $89. Now last sold $80, $81, $87, and $77. And the Charmander, still dropping, was at $153. Now last sold $103, $85, $106, $90, $85, $87. And we got the Squirtle from Stellar Crown, just dropping in price a little bit. Got up to $120. Now last sold $115, $109. One at $125, otherwise $103, $102. Another one at $120. Bunch at $105 though. And we got some SIRs. The Alakazam from $151 was at $93. Now last sold $75, $74, $76. And the Charizard from Obsidian got up to $120, like it has the 15th time. Now last sold $102, $115, $110, $126, $105, $107, $108. And the Blastoise was at $227. We got sales now at $155, $150, $148. Next, we have the Mega Evolution First Partner 30th Anniversary promos. Here's the Turtwig, was at $12. Now last sold $8 and $9. We got the Chimchar, was at $11. Now last sold $6, $5, and $7. And we got the Piplup. This was at $12, went up to $17. Now last sold $14, $15, and $16. And we got the Rowlet, was at $10, went up to $14. Now last sold $7, $8, $9, so that one's dropping pretty quick. And we have the Litten, was at $9.81. Now last sold $7, $8. Next, we have the Poplio, was at $8.44, dropped down to $5, went back up to about $8. Now last sold $5.50, $6, $7. It's good to see it in the fives. Love to get these promos at $5 each. I do have a bunch of these already, and a lot of them are actually really nice and have very good chances of getting a 10. Here we have the Bulbasaur. These ones are not dropping as much, but we're still going to check them. Bulbasaur was at 27, dropped down to 26, went up to 28, dropped down to 24, went back up to 26. Now last sold all about 25. And we have the Squirtle, was at 32, went up to 35, dropped down to about 28, 29, and now last sold right around 30. And the Charmander was at 31, went up to 37, dropped down to 33. Now last sold all at about $35. And we have that new Mega Gardevoir EX Mega Attack Rare promo. Pretty sick card. This was at 14, dropped down to $9.78, went back up to $12. Now last sold all right around $9 or $10. So about 10 of them at $10.84. And we have the Mega Lucario version. This was at $16. This was at $16, went up to $25. Now last sold 17, 18. Someone got 10 of them also at $18.37. And last on the list, we have that crazy Gengar GameStop promo. This thing is so expensive. It was at $100 when it first came out, went up to $125. Now last sold 106, 108, 110. We got a bunch at 99, 105. But we do have one at 130 and 125, but they have pictures, so they're probably centered really, really well and probably, you know, grade worthy, but still crazy price for a GameStop promo. But all right, that was this week's Pokemon Find Friday. If you guys like this content and want to stay ahead of the market, please make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a like and comment. If you guys want to support more, you guys can check out my Instagram, my TikTok, Facebook, YouTube membership, all that. You guys know what to do. You guys are the best. But all right, I want you guys to have a great day. And if you guys could do me a massive favor and watch the video that I made with Noah Lyles, an Olympian, click this video right here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.